Greetings, family. I am at the Fajara War Cemetery. This cemetery was part of, I guess, a way to honor those that were killed during the war. It says it was built and maintained by the Commonwealth War Graves Commission. So, let me see. There's some more detailing over here. The Gambia and the two world wars. Well before the First World War, the Gambia, Ghana, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone had raised local infantry units. Ghana and Nigeria had artillery batteries. Whilst their individual identities and recruitment areas were preserved, the four formations were for command and administrative purposes, grouped together in what was to become the Royal West African Frontier Force, a title made famous in two world wars. Units of the Royal West African Frontier Force served in the brief operations in August 1914, which led to the surrender of German forces in Togoland in an 18-month campaign to occupy the German Cameroons, and in the subsequent garrisoning of both territories. An enlarged infantry brigade and the carrier corps played a distinguished part in the later stages of the campaign in East Africa. In the Second World War, the Royal West African Frontier Force was expanded too many times. Its peacetime strength and supporting arms and services were raised so that the West African brigades and divisions which subsequently took the field were complete and self-supporting. The cemetery contains 203 burials of the Second World War. By forces, they comprise 122 West African, 63 UK, 10 Canadian, 2 Australian, 2 New Zealand, 1 Rhodesian, 2 French, and 1 Norwegian. 122 West African. The Gambia Memorial, I'm skipping to the bottom, y'all. So that's why this was built. And I'm just going to take a quick walk around the cemetery so you all can see how this was built, the Fajara War Cemetery. And this is in the area not too far from Bacau, and not too far from Emporium's department store, the store I was telling you all about. The soldiers and airmen whose memory is honored here died in service of their country and lie buried elsewhere in West Africa. The Gambia Regiment, they have corporals and privates up here, West African Army Services Corps, West Army Medical Corps, and it really is just a beautiful, quaint place. Like, you walk here and it's like you just stepped out of the city. It really is a very peaceful, beautiful place. So I just wanted you all to get a look at this. I don't believe in stepping on graves, so I'm not gonna go on near to anyone's grave, but I will see if I can enlarge this so you all can see the tablets, or the stones, if you will. You can see they go all the way back and across. And you know, what can I say? This also brought to mind the African American TULSA survivors that visited Ghana and were granted king and queen status, which I love. But it brought to mind so many things. Like, there's never any mention that they're African American. People keep saying the TULSA survivors. Where's Tulsa? Does everyone know that Tulsa, Oklahoma is in the United States? Like, that needs to be stated. It also made me wonder, like, do we have to survive massacres and horrible trauma in order to be honored when we return to the continent? Is it enough that we are descendants of trauma when we come back? And as far as our reporters and, you know, folks doing newscasting, why do we always list the victim as the subject of the line. Like if I'm talking about the amazing survivors and victims of abuse, why aren't I talking about someone is yelling, I'm not really sure why, but you know, why aren't I talking about other things like the horrible people that committed these atrocities and not pointing out the victims as the subject, right? I would think that would be more important to talk about, right? Even when we talk about abuse victims, we talk about you know, the 14-year-old rape victim, but we don't say who the horrible person was that committed the offense. Why is the victim the subject line? So when I think of Oklahoma and I think of that horrible massacre that took place in Tulsa, I think of Americans' hidden secrets, America's horrible atrocities. So we have to find a way to highlight our folks without it looking like they are victims, like they should always be seen as survivors and uniquely strong in what they have dealt with. So I'm going to wrap it up with that. Just wanted to give y'all some food for thought.